Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to episode 6 of WrestlePurists Worldwide. I'm joined by Joe Hulbert, Manny Booper. his, his display name's half covered, but I think he's rooting for England in the World Cup this year. And yeah, man,
I can't wait for them to kill the US.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
We've only just started. We're going to talk about the weekend in wrestling and kind of the week ahead in wrestling, I guess. Obviously, there's been some pay-per-views, there's been some match announcements, and, there's been a lot of stuff going on. But I'll start because I forgot last week and I got the shit kicked out of me. Joe, how you doing, friend?
I'm good, mate. This is character development, The people saw last week you fell short on that front. You didn't check on your friend. This week you did better. We now develop this as we go. We'll see how you go on. But I am very good, Monty. The weekend of wrestling. It's sometimes with AEW pay-per-views especially, there's so much conversation about them that 2 days later it feels like a distant memory in some ways. We've all said our opinions at this point, right? It's kind of weird in that way with how much talk there is about it. But I'm very good. Happy to talk about more wrestling with you guys tonight. And Monty, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It was a long weekend.
Isn't this exciting?
Put a long shift in,
You did, yeah. You wanted to do a victory lap of that. You wanted some medals for it. It was a little much, I thought, but
Listen, I got my flowers.
I saw that. It was unfortunate, but yeah, carry on.
Manny, moving on to you. How are you doing?
Where to start? I was watching the World Cup earlier, and then I was watching Ecuador versus Qatar like an hour ago. And I was live tweeting about it. Shoot told me, that game happened yesterday, and I didn't know. So, so then I started watching.
You didn't know. How does that happen?
Well, here they like to play rewinds of games without telling you it's like pre-taped.
Yeah, they assume
A pre-tape.
Yeah. They assume that Manny was aware it opened the whole tournament up yesterday.
To be fair, I was working yesterday, but
Fair.
And now I'm watching the NFL live. They're in Mexico. Shout out Penta. Penta's gonna be there, the man of honor. And now they're showing the Mexican helmets that they're wearing are very nice. Mm-hmm. I saw the Stardom show from yesterday, just the main event, the semi-main event. Will Ospreay is very good. Kairi Sane, I was just like, for some reason, once she came out, I said, man, does she know about pirates? And like all these questions came out of my head where I was like, I need to interview her because I want to ask her if she can teach me about pirates. What's the connection between pirates and wrestling? Does she know her lore?
That plus the smell test, bro.
Wait, what?
She can teach me about pirates.
Yeah.
What kind of interview are you looking for, Chief? What are you trying to achieve here?
Well, I'm trying to find out what she knows about pirates.
Okay, how would you frame that question? I'm intrigued now. Now, for sake of conversation, I'll be Kairi saying, how are you setting this up? Like, are you just going to literally say, what do you know about pirates? Are you going to say, what can you teach me about pirates? You're going to ask, one fun fact? What are you going to do?
What's the pirate lore? And that's what I'm going to ask her. What's I was confused. I was just like, does she own a boat? Like, that's a good
question. I think you start with the boat. Start with the boat. Then we go to the hat, and then we can develop from there. I like that's better. We found out.
And then I think Kevin Kelly said that Miyu Utami dropped out of middle school, and I said that rules. And then I said I wish I did that. And then I started thinking, what would I do in my free time? Because all my friends would be in middle school while I'm just at home.
Yeah.
So
you would have become a wrestler.
You have to ask Manny how he is. This is why. Because you get all of this.
Because I was gonna plan on taking notes, and those are the only notes I wrote down for the whole match, and then I kept thinking about all these questions through the 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I have to ask you, man, because we haven't spoke about this. What was your reaction when Penta came out without the vest gimmick on?
Oh, bro, I pumped my fist. I said, "Holy shit!" I said, "Why can't we get this Penta on every Dynamite? Because this Penta looked like he was ready to rumble."
That was unbelievable, wasn't it? That whole deal was just incredible. That was like as electric as AEW has felt in some time. Like that thing was seriously red hot. The way the people were everything was happening. They were reacting. It was so sharp. Everything in that match. But Yes, when I saw Penta, I was like, man, he must be so fired up right now.
I was.
Because I was fired up, and I know we do the weekly conversation about Penta and whether he's into it or not. He was into it on Saturday. I think it's fair to say he was pretty into it. So it's a cool deal.
I wonder who convinced him to take the shirt off.
I
Probably
feel like,
looked at himself one day and thought, you know what,
yeah,
it's time. You know,
he looks
No,
incredible, man.
I wish he did that when he looked in the mirror and saw he was wrestling Moxley. I kind of wish he did that, but you know, you get what you get. Maybe he doesn't think Moxley has what it takes, you know. But you know,
there was a great moment. For those of you who don't know, folks, Manny and I watched Dynamite together on the Late Night Grins Twitch, and in the ad break, Penta did the spot that we've all seen a million times, right? He put Mox against the post and he threw some chops, and Moxley ducked and he hits his hand. And I go to Manny, I go, "What do you think? Is Penta going to sell his hand?" As the words came out of my mouth, Penta did a chop, looked at the people, and did the zero fear deal with the hand. And I was like, "Look, man, I guess you could be mad or critical. Fuck that. It's Penta. You got to pop, right? That rules. That's incredible stuff." So that's the experience we have.
Man, Full Gear was a ride. I kept trying to convince Monty to let me do like a live stream, and it didn't work out. So I was just in the voice chat with the other Joe in Discord the whole time. It was just us two just talking.
Who's the other Joe?
He's
Alternative Joe.
He's in a Late Night Green Discord.
Alternative Joe.
We've got a super chat real quick, man. Right, Alexia, obviously part of the WrestlePurists family, part of the WrestlePurists Divas podcast that was on last night. If you haven't watched that, watch it already. Everyone like this video right now. Love y'all. We love you too. Thanks very much for the $4.99. And of course, like the video, subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. And any more super chats, if you're feeling so kind, will be immensely appreciated. But we might as well start on the conversation of, like, you know, Death Triangle, the Elite. The Elite obviously made the much anticipated return. Full Gear versus Death Triangle. They failed in recapturing the Trios Championships, but they are, as been announced. Was it after the pay-per-view or during the pay-per-view?
During,
yeah. That they'll be having a best of 7 with the Death Triangle, which is, you know, it's a lot.
Very daring. You know, it's like
daring.
Look, if you don't like their matches, then you won't like.
No,
them.
yeah, you're
breaking
fucked.
news. Yeah, you're fucked. Like, you might like one of them, but as someone who enjoys what they do together, because I think they're that genre of match, they're clearly like the best at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued on the most nerdy level of like, what do they have planned here? Because they're going to have like an outline of what story they want to tell across the 7 matches, and there'll be different plot lines that come and go. So, like, I'm aware of how nerdy that sounds, but that is what intrigues me. Like, I don't care who wins and loses, right? But, like, I'm interested what these wrestling brains do with a 7-match series.
Mm-hmm.
That interests me. They certainly didn't hold back in match 1. So,
I know.
You know, what you do now, like, I wonder if you have an injury plot line, because we know that, you know, the Bucks have certainly done that throughout their career at times with Matt's back and all that. So, there could be different things. I've been sincere. Like, there's going to be something like that in this series.
But like Matt selling his back is like almost like a bit. No,
right. Well, I was just using an example. But you get what I'm saying.
We can just X out Penta from doing any of the selling, because we don't have to worry about him. He's going to wrestle every week. Like,
maybe it's Ray's arm. You know, it could be anything. But you're definitely going to have like. And one of the things that's interesting is match 1 kind of concluded the plot. You know, the idea of like Pac trying to convince Phoenix to cheat, right? I mean, they can go back to it, but he did cheat. So you would assume they're going to be firmly in that role now. So
desperate times call for desperate measures. You know,
I loved it. I love the way Pac sold it. I wish they'd have distracted the ref, because Penta distracted him on the 2 times he didn't use it, which was very funny to me. Never even needed to bother, mate. Rick Knox wouldn't see it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it was awesome, Manny. You must be fired up for this 7-match series. There's a lot of fun here ahead for you, especially this style. I think is really your kind of grim. Are you fired up?
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be like 7 exciting matches. Obviously they're gonna go to 7 because the last show was in California. So I decided, because I know 3 of them are gonna be in Texas. I decided I'm not going to Winter's Coming anymore, because I don't want to see MJF versus Ricky, so I'm not going to that show. So I just gave up on 1. So I'm gonna go see 2 out of the Elite and Death Triangle matches. It's going to be very exciting. I was wondering how they're going to make them all different. And I feel like they kind of did all the big spots that they can do in the first match. You know, like Pac looked like he broke his nose.
Yes.
So it was just like, okay, cool. What's gonna happen now from the other 7 matches?
Now look, I know this isn't the hot topic, Monty. I know this isn't good for views, but let's be honest, when it comes to views, we're fucked regardless tonight. You know what I mean? We haven't got our top guy. We're just trying to keep the territory ticking over. We have to discuss this Ricky Starks business. Manny has just announced here. I don't want this to go under the radar. He's just announced on WrestlePurists, a prestigious platform, that he cancelled plans to attend the event based on Ricky Starks getting a main event match on said event. Now, are they taping Rampage that night, Manny, or is that different? Is that a live show? Is Rampage being taped on the Wednesday?
I didn't look that up. I just decided I was going to go.
Either way, we know how Dynamite operates, right? There's going to be other cool stuff when Winter is coming. And Manny said, I don't care. If Ricky Starks is wrestling for the World Heavyweight title, I don't want nothing to do with it. Manny,
I don't want.
This is violent. I don't want. It's aggressive.
If he ever gets into the Observer Hall of Fame, I don't want my name associated with his drawing numbers. That's what's going on here.
My God, that's real long-term booking right there, brother. The Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame is involved in this. Monty, what do you make of this Ricky Starks business? This is getting a little bit out of hand, if you ask me.
Oh, no, slow-mo Ricky Starks.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, behave. It's all behave. I like Starks, man. I know a lot of people don't, for whatever reason, you know, but, you know, seems a bit harsh, man. I can't lie to you.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little aggressive. You know, not being your favorite. We'll have our favorites. Nothing wrong with that. Not going purely because Ricky Starks is in a main event match is fucking nuts, dude. I have to respect it on some level. It's like complete lunacy. It's incredible. I'm really excited for Ricky Starks and MJF personally, but that's just me. You know, I think it could be really fun. I guess we should talk about MJF, right?
I mean,
before we do that, I need this one wrestler has been on my mind and annoying me ever since I saw him at Full Gear. Fucking Danhausen, man. Everybody was getting so excited for him, I said, we all know who it is. Why didn't he come out with the rest of the crew? And then on top of that, look, I wouldn't have mind if he came out with like different face paint, but if he came out with the same face paint, it looked like he just ate hot wings because he just had the little blood on his shit. Then he didn't clean himself. And I said, and okay, guys, he did one cool.
What about the jar of teeth?
What
about the jar of teeth?
That's unsanitary. You know, they could just put thumbtacks in somebody's mouth and did that, you know? And just so what he did a nice German. I'm pretty sure I can do a nice German, you know? Just
well, it's not carried away. I don't mean any of us want to make that claim on the air. Now look, people often ask, what makes this the studio show? You know, why is this the unimportant show no one needs to watch? Well, the reason for that is we come on the Monday after a red hot pay-per-view and talk about two guys that are on 0 hour in match 1 and 2. We need to talk about Eddie, Ricky Starks, and Danhausen talk to fucking pierce the viewership immediately, you know? You gotta respect it, bro. You gotta respect it. But Danhausen thing was interesting. I'll leave it at that. Okay, here's another thing I want to talk about. Because you guys reviewed it, so like I know Monty did, and you know everyone's talked about it. But what is the deal with people pretending the Jeff Jarrett match wasn't fucking awesome? Monty, did you do this on Saturday?
I've not seen much of it. I've not seen much of people pretending it wasn't good.
He's got a 6.3 on Cage Match.
Does he?
I called the police.
I think what the real rating? 1 second. The WrestlePurists.
Sting.
The WrestlePurists contributors rating.
Here we go, folks.
3 3/4.
That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. 7.5.
That's a really good. That's a good match.
Yeah, we can live with
it.
It's
a very good match.
But he tried to catch the lethal injection in the Scorpion Death Drop. Even the fact he thought about it is nuts. Bless his heart, he didn't stand up for another 10 minutes. I mean, it was incredible.
Jeff Jarrett took the suicide dive from Sammy.
Yes.
Not from Sammy. I mean, Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I can't believe I did that.
He did.
Darby did the Sting spot, and it was fucking incredible. Like,
yes. Sat down, caught Darby like a little kid and flung him through the air.
Yeah.
It was a blast, man.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I got another 2 things.
Go ahead, man.
It's about another match. We can finish this one first.
No, I was done with that, so I was moving on. So you go ahead.
Yes. So
I was pumping my fist and everything about that ROH 4-way. I'm gonna write about it. I'm just gonna have to rewatch it. And then after I'm pumping my fist, I think it was Joe or Dion in the Late Night Grin Discord. He says, "Hey, you think the final battle match is gonna be Jericho and Sammy?" And I just dropped my headset and I said, "Son of a bitch, man! Am I gonna have to cancel my final battle tickets too? Like, I can't believe it."
I thought the same thing because this is actually an interesting. Like, what are the final battle matches? Because I always assumed Joe was going to go for Jericho, but not only has he turned heel, he's won the fucking TNT title now, which is our thumbnail. So like that's off the table. So like, who is wrestling both of these guys? I mean, I've seen lots about Wardlow and Joe, but it's like that's such a weird match for final battle, man. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's just strange, you know.
give me Davey Richards and Samoa Joe. Maybe. I mean, I can't refund my tickets. I'm already committed $60 in.
Yeah.
So
fair. David Richards is such a random name, but it pops me, so I'll just say yes, fair.
I've been saying it every week, hoping it comes true.
I don't know how good that would be at this point, but we'll just pretend. So can't hurt, right? Is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I like early on in the Joe match, watching it was kind of thinking to myself, he's like is he going to win this thing? Because every time Joe got in the ring, he would like bump one of the guys and just get the shit kicked out of him. And I was thinking, Joe's a pretty smart guy, you know. Like he would give himself a little something, a little shine because he's not winning. I assumed he was taking the fall. Fucking won. He's a double champ. Shot him with both belts.
Man, I for a while there, I thought Samoa Joe was gonna leave the fleet, and then now I'm just they might make him the first ever person in the AEW Hall of Fame. The way Tony Khan's booking him, he's in the. He saw what's going on in WWE with Roman Reigns carrying both belts and says, "I can book a better Samoan double champ. I got Samoa Joe on my side. He's gonna carry two brands."
It certainly feels like he's a Tony guy right now, right? Like that's the way it feels. Like he's often cited as like, you know, one of the kind of locker room guys. And I think Monty and I talked about it. I don't know if it was on the air, but like he's generally a guy, if he signs the deal, like he'll be there, you know, not be like
he's not gonna do like there's not gonna be like a weird phase. You know, like how there was like with Malachi and obviously Andrade at the moment. Like Joe isn't gonna pull any of that shit, you know.
No, I think it would take a lot. He was in TNA for fucking 10 years.
Well, there you go, bro. Like, the TNA, he had the shit kicked out of him for about 8 of it.
Yeah, and he never badmouths them ever, right? Like he's just like, well, it was what it was. They're cool.
Right. So my second topic that I wanted to bring up was from the WrestlePurists post show.
Oh shit!
You guys brought up Eddie Kingston not being a multiple month world champion. I heavily disagreed.
Oh my God.
I think he can literally carry AEW on his back if they book it right. You see how the crowd is so into him and everybody loves him. I really don't see how everybody thought that he should only be like a 1 month champ, like reign champ. I feel like he can literally carry AEW into a pay-per-view and actually
I'll do anything with him. That's where I'm with Eddie Kingston. If the belt's on Eddie Kingston, I don't care if it's a 1 week reign or a 1 year reign. I'm happy, you know. I would say I think I don't know, man. I don't know why. I can't remember who actually brought it up in the first place, but I don't know, man. Eddie's like.
I think it was.
You want to see
the
him
Hangman
on the
imposter,
phone, you know, the Hangman imposter. He's supposed to be on suspension, and you know, he can't stay away, Joe. Can't stay away.
Well, what happened? Did he do a run-in or something?
He joins under a different alias.
Oh, you literally mean Hangman, but portraying himself?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had no idea what you were talking about. Okay, carry on.
He can't stay away, bro. We tried suspending him, tried putting him on hiatus. He can't stay away, bro.
He loves this business. He loves this business.
He does.
Carry on about Eddie Kingston, bro. Go.
He's good.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be happy to see him have a 1 week total reign, and I could see how that could make sense. And like I said, I'd be happy to see him have like a 1 year total reign. To be honest, it's just the thing with AEW. It's just they need to have like a stacked roster of heels. You know, that's the only thing I'd say. To be honest,
I think sometimes with Eddie, we like. I'm gonna say we as like a collective, not us three necessarily. I certainly do it. Like we kind of pull our punches a little bit because we're all thankful that he's gotten this far. So it's like you don't want to come across like an asshole, right? Like I certainly don't want to be the guy who's like screaming from the rooftops, Eddie should be the AEW World Champ, because ultimately I'm glad he's on TV every week, let alone or could be on TV every week, let alone be world champion. I definitely think if you take away the story element, as great as it is, and all that stuff, and like the kind of lore of who Eddie Kingston is, and just look at him as a performer, I definitely think there's truth to what Manny was saying, what you just said, Monty, of like, here's a guy who, in every time he's been given a big spot, has had a great match, right? He's never fouled them on that front. Everyone agrees on him as a promo. Obviously, he doesn't have like a conventional great wrestling look, but like the dude's so popular. So you're talking about a guy who's a great promo, who has great matches, and he's the most over babyface on the roster, arguably. And it's like, I mean, yeah, there's some truth to saying, why does he only have to be champ for a couple of weeks or a month? I say all that knowing that I have many times said that exact thing about Eddie, right? So it's like, he's an interesting case. I think sometimes it's hard to separate the performer from his journey and this kind of Rocky story, Cinderella story, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's part of it.
I'm not some wrestling historian, you know. I'm just a fan that just podcasts. So I don't really know anything about Mankind. And when he won the title, people were just like, well, you know, he couldn't carry like the WWE. But I think because people always compare Eddie Kingston to Mankind, but unlike Mankind, I think Eddie can actually carry the company, and people would actually buy pay-per-views just to watch him wrestle. So that's just my take on it.
I also think, in fairness, like, you know, they're very different companies, right? Like 1999 WWF is very different to 2022 AEW. Understatement of the century. Like they're appealing to very different bases, you know, like the top guys back then were like bordering on celebrities. And AEW, for better or worse, and sometimes it means for much better quality, but they are like, you know, they have this hardcore base, right? Who's really into the wrestling industry. So for them, I don't think the business would die if King was on top. Oh, I'm with you. The MJF thing creates really like interesting opportunity because he's a natural guy for Eddie to chase. There are some interesting names that you can make with MJF as champ. Like I know Monty's favorite, Hangman Adam Page, is an interesting candidate for that. A couple of the pillars. The Sting match, that needs to happen. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you do a couple weeks build and do that on TV, they only need 6-7 minutes.
Oh, we got a super chat. Appreciate your heart, the fellas. Yes, we are. $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Keep the super chats coming if you're feeling generous. You know, it's our small little show. You know,
just trying our best.
Trying to draw a little house. You know,
just trying our best. You know what I mean? Trying to stay on the television set. You know, it is what it is.
Try not to get cancelled.
Yeah. Well,
one more thing before I forget, because I saw a comment about it, and then we can move on. Was that I want to give a shout out to Athena. She freaking rules on Rampage. When she hit Aubrey Edwards, I lit up from my bed. I said, "Holy shit, she just hit her!" And then when, I've been saying for weeks that I hope that she gets the ROH belt.
Wow.
People are gonna get mad when I say, probably not. But when
music,
legend
Ibrahim and Yang, $2, sending love. God bless. He's changed. Who changes the YouTube picture, bro? This is what he does. He changes his YouTube picture to a different selfie, sends him money, so he can get up on the screen. I'm onto him.
We have to begin to broadcast on this program sincere, friendly interactions with our friend, the backup Hangman. We're turning him babyface again. You know this, Monty. I've told you this. You're not letting me do it, man. I'm trying. Last week, he gave this wonderful speech. He wants to take some time. All he's put into this platform, and Monty immediately kicked the shit out of him. Look at this. We encourage it. It's on us, Monty. We got to change the narrative, brother.
What I said to him is, it's almost like 2002 Triple H. You know, he needs to go away. He needs to take some time away. And if you take some time away, give the people a chance to actually miss him. You know what I mean? And then he can come back and have his big grand entrance. But
Monty,
if he's popping into podcasts and he's still getting into Twitter discourse and he's in the live chat all the time, no one's
It's
going to miss
important.
him.
Monty, are you aware of what Triple H's 2003, 4, and 5 look like, mate? Because I don't think we want to go down the road of
No,
that.
just the return. Just the return.
Because listen, Hangman, I love you. If your like return eventually resembles 2003 Triple H, I'm not doing these shows anymore. He just comes and just kicks the shit out of all of us, leaves us all laying. Systematically destroys all our arguments.
No, just the return, Pop. Just the return, Pop. The rest is down to him. You know. We got another super chat. $522, $5. Got unused tomatoes rotting over here. Love you guys. Appreciate it.
You could just make some pasta sauce or something.
Make some pasta sauce. Call it the I don't know, Ibu sauce.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if you want to call it that, but
what else can we talk about real quick before we we keep saying like Manny kept saying earlier like
what are we gonna get into?
we just talking.
Manny was like, before we move on, I'm like, where are we moving to? I haven't got a clue what we're talking about today.
I guess some of the stuff that's in the title, we did talk about the Elite, so that's one thing.
Very good.
Kenny's wrestling Ospreay.
There's something I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get to Kenny Omega and Ospreay. I haven't had a chance to talk about it over the weekend yet, miraculously, but that closing angle on SmackDown on Friday.
Oh my god,
bro!
That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, it was.
That's how you book an angle, bro.
That was great.
Did you watch it, man?
No.
He said it was great. He did concede the War Games match. Looks incredible though. Like,
Manny, I think you'd like the angle. I'm throwing it out there. I know Manny's not a big angles guy, so I'm really sticking my neck out on it.
The problem is, Manny has the Kevin Owens bit. And
that's why I'm conflicted because I'm excited for the War Games match. And then I saw Kevin Steen in the corner of the graphic, and I said, oh, man, now what do I do?
Kevin Steen is just despicable behavior.
Do I sit down? Do I sit down in this gaming chair and watch it? Or do I just...
All this
evolution is unbelievable.
Oh my god!
Hanged Twitter young boys is very problematic. You know.
Imagine like the tweet to get that roster together. Hang tweets.
You're gonna see some of the nastiest Twitter accounts.
Look at this from Reese.
Oh goodness!
So what we need around here, you know, big slap nuts in energy. BT Reese says that he's waiting for me to break down today's BT, which I have hilariously watched because
Dave Meltzer on Observer.
I'm not. I love it when he does that.
He does like the comedy bits, like he explains them and expects like Brian to laugh or whatever.
And then Dave does it so deadpan, just like
some of the greatest comedy in cinema history, if explained by Dave Meltzer, would not be very funny. BTE comedy being explained by Dave Meltzer is like, come on, dude, you're killing your own thing here. This is not good. Just say it was funny, you know.
I wish that Dave did visual audio for the longest time because I feel like we missed out on so many great moments.
Yeah, we definitely missed out on
that.
And now when people post clips of him, the old times, they used to just say Observer Radio and then just hear his voice in the background. I'm like, I just wish that we had his face or something. Speaking of it.
It took him long enough, but we got there in the end.
The clip where he wants
2022
is amazing, man. He's like, people can talk now? Ask questions. And Albert like, fuck no, not now. We have 40 minutes still, dude. Calm down. It was amazing. Beautiful moment. But yeah.
The screenshot with him and his dog as well. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Yeah.
His little dog.
Legend. Absolute legend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What was we talking about? We was talking about Kevin Owens.
Good, isn't he?
Yeah, good angle, you know. You know, I love like Roman wasn't on the show at all. You know, they did talk about him and stuff, but he wasn't actually on the show until they hit his music. You know,
reaction for that when he came through the curtain and they all screamed.
I love it. I just love the you know. I was saying it in the group chat a couple of days ago. It's like I don't quite know what it is. It's like I recognise that the tribal chief and you know the bloodline reign has been really good throughout the entirety of it, pretty much. But I don't know why, but the past couple of months, I'm just like even more into Roman Reigns than I think I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's just that star presence, man. It's great, though.
Did you think Sami Zayn for that? Did you think Sami Zayn for that?
I think he is part of the bloodline heating up for sure. I think the 1-2 punch of like, I know you're going to laugh, Monty, but I think Solo gives a nice new factor, freshens it up, and then Sammy being like the best thing in wrestling for a little bit. Those two together,
He gives it another layer.
Yeah, it rejuvenates it. And obviously, the other thing with Roman is, I think everyone has liked his last couple matches. Well, not everyone. I think most people have liked his last couple matches, which helps.
Yeah,
right?
that helps. That definitely helps.
Everyone liked the Logan Paul match. The Drew match was more divisive. I liked it, but
the old school heavyweight world title.
I really liked it.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what that was, bro. Well, that's just what that was. You know,
This 3.5-star match.
Yeah,
Roman's interesting because he's so over now that he's like the only guy who does the slow down WWE stuff, and he like actually completely works.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll do like a double down, and he will sit there for like 90 seconds. The people will just come up. It's kind of ridiculous to watch sometimes. Like he can pace a match different to anyone else because of how over he is. He's like an actual superstar.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's an actual superstar. Like when he comes out, like, there's a huge reaction every time. It's not like, oh, the reactions for Roman are a bit quiet this week. But nah, like that don't happen. Like, we got another super chat. Darren Walker, £10. Appreciate you. Just saw WrestlePurists Twitter that Omega Wrestler of the Week. No way the best match at Full Gear was Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm. Best women's match in AEW. That's not a hardcore match. Listen, we've all got opinions, but that's the way the votes went.
A good pick. Was she second?
No.
Some opinions are just wrong.
Who was second?
Kyrie.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Was she
Obviously
second from the AEW side of things?
No, because everybody voted for Kenny Omega or
Nick Jackson,
Kyrie.
right?
Then no, just Kenny Omega or Kyrie. And I think Murph voted for Jungle Boy.
That's a good vote, man. Manny, don't do that. That was a good vote. Good job by Murph. Let's talk about that for a second, Monty. I reviewed that match over on WrestlePurists, as you know. I thought that match was like an unbelievable achievement. I don't think it was the best match on the show or anything. I think the Jamie Tony match was better. I think the Kenny match was better, to Darren's point, about the first one and the second one. But, like, I just didn't think that was a good fit for a cage match on paper. They had like a classical cage match. Like Luchasaurus was a monster in there, man. He was like violent and.
Oh, I thought it was 2003 for a moment. Yeah,
it was cool, man. And Jungle Boy had the performance of a lifetime. I mean, he was such a great babyface in that match. He's fire. He was brave, but not like dumb. Like he tried to wrestle tactically. I thought it was like. I mean, again, I'm not saying it was like a match of the year or anything, but for what I expected and both guys' general style of performance. It was like a complete home run to me. Kicked the show off in style too.
And I didn't get to see it until the day after because I was at work. And all I saw on the timeline was a lot of people like moaning about how they got out of the cage and stuff. Yeah. So like I was expecting like to see like wrestle crap, bro. Like I was expecting to see like the doors just randomly open, but like the way that they got the door open wasn't. Like, it wasn't no bullshit. Like it was like it made sense, you know. Like,
yes, it was well executed by Christian. And
then he got immediately ejected as well.
Yeah,
it's not like, you know.
It validated it. And also, they didn't then transform the match. So they got a couple chairs and they did the big table spot. But it wasn't like at that point they just did a weapons match, right? They used the chairs constantly, but it wasn't like it was plunder off that. They set up the one big spot of the match, which was an absolutely terrifying spot because Jungle Boy did not, you know, I've been told that he explained in the press conference that Luchasaurus was closer than he wanted him to be. Like he set him up closer, so he couldn't jump. He basically had to just fall, which is why it looks so scary, you know.
Yeah, when I watched it back, I was just like, it looked like a blob that just fell, like he jumped off of. And I was like, bro, like
you know, caught the elbow.
Jump I thought he missed the elbow.
So he just hit it, but I thought it looked insane, and I thought it suited the match because it felt like Jungle Boy had to like risk everything to even. You know, to survive almost. And I don't know what Luchasaurus does next, what his ceiling is, but that was a great performance. Jack's ready to go, man. I think you need to get him like moving now. You know?
I just have to change the rest of his gear because it looked kind of weird how it looked like half his gear was like
Jack
Perry.
Yeah,
I was just like, I don't know. It just, I don't know. The match was funny because like I wasn't. If you see my tweets, I wasn't excited about it, and I was just like, past Manny doesn't think this match is good. Present Manny thinks it's good, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I also like the way they worked it because like there was no lockup. They just started throwing fists at each other right away, and it showed the urgency of the match. I don't know. I want to say the match was like 20 minutes,
right.
but it didn't feel like that at all. I felt like the match is over as quickly as it started, and I was like, man, that's it.
Jungle Boy's a hell of a bleeder.
Yes, but initially he came up and he was like, there weren't much there.
The resume.
Pushed his head into the cage, and like that shot where the blood was like going down the cage.
I love it.
That's wrestling art right there, brother.
I
was blown away.
That's a cage match for you,
Yeah.
I need Jungle Boy to start bleeding now in big matches. He showed that he can bleed, and now I need to see it, just like Moxley.
Well, the cage match with Luchasaurus, like with him being like a big heavy as well, like he just definitely called for it, And I'm glad that, he was happy to run the razor and bleed a little for us.
You sometimes misread things, man. It's like I didn't think it would suit them, but they obviously knew what they were going to try and do with it. Like I saw that they both. I think Jungle Boy cited Taker and Shawn from '97. Like, and if you watch it through that lens, while they're on different sides, obviously the heel is the big. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still the vibe. I could see it there. So they obviously knew what they wanted to do with it, and they nailed it. They did a great job.
Yeah, it was a great take on modern style with the old style. So I feel like this is how cage matches should be working now, instead of just like it
had the grit of a cage match, right? But they still give you that final act where they traded some big moves, they did the big spot, so you could watch it as a nerd like me and enjoy it. But if you were just in the crowd for the opening match, it was exciting, right? There was some big action. It wasn't like it was very, very good match.
It's one of those things. It's like something you want to see more of in wrestling, and always in wrestling really is like you take the good ideas from yesteryear and add a modern flavor or twist to them, and that's what they did exactly. So I think the thing with Jungle Boy as well is like he lost a lot of momentum when Christian got injured because of course there's a lot less interest in the feud because obviously, but now after that cage match. It's like he's back, he's back on it. And like Joe said, like maybe it's time to like really keep going with him now and give him the push that he was going to get after beating Christian anyway, because it feels like he's in a similar position that he would be in now because the match was genuinely that good and he was that good of a babyface, isn't he? So, yeah, man.
He's a guy I would like to just... I wouldn't even rush to find him a new feud. I would just like him to get a match on either Dynamite or Rampage weekly. And start doing something that I wish AEW would do more of. And I know it's not for everyone. I'm just, this is my opinion. Like, I would like him to have like those kind of mission statement promos where he sets a clear goal. Like maybe it's the TNT title, and you just give him like a month of wins where he cuts that promo. Brief promos. It doesn't have to be like if it's long. It has to have an in-ring segment. But something where he says that's the next goal for him. He wants to win a belt without Luchasaurus. Maybe he goes to the world title. I think him and MJF can have a TV program for sure. I think I'd like that because I don't think you want to follow this with an immediate feud because he just did a feud that was like a year-long story, right? So I think you go in that direction and then eventually he finds himself in another conflict. Don't do it immediately. Let him wrestle for a little bit and let him kind of grow into this role because he's a player. Absolutely. He's a guy you can, build something around. We'll see how high he goes, but I think they like him a lot, rightly so. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, man, he's getting hot again. We got another super chat. Showtown, $5. Appreciate you. Brits were undefeated at Full Gear. Do you guys think Tony is pushing the English because of ratings coming out of the UK? Now I think obviously Saraya was probably always going to win because obviously it's the first match, he's a big star coming in, etc. etc. Jamie Hayter is just like organically just gotten over and he's really hot and he just felt like the right time, to be honest. He was just a bit skeptical because you kind of feel a bit bad for Tony because she's done absolutely nothing wrong as women's champ. And, it kind of feels like she's been done a little dirty because, she's been just classed as the interim the whole time. And like I said, she's done nothing wrong and she's done a great job. She's had good matches and she's been really solid for that division. But like I said, man, like it was just time to pull the trigger with Jamie, I think. And Alexia made a good point of it yesterday on the Divas podcast when she was saying about, you know, AEW have received like quite a lot of criticism, especially I know especially off me and Joe for like not pulling the trigger and following momentum through when someone gets really hot. They've done it here, so you got to give them credit for it. You know, even if that to kind of, I wouldn't say sacrifice Tony, especially with how good the match was. Tony's going to be fine, and she'll probably have another reign at some point. But it was just really good to see him go with Jamie at that time.
I think you can say sacrifice. I don't think that's a negative thing. You know, you can't like you have to make choices ultimately.
Sacrifice implies buried though to wrestling fans because they run with things, you know. So you have to be careful with how you word it.
Of course, you absolutely do because people get mad about everything. It's like it's not anything to do with Tony. It's just you have to pick sometimes. And Tony has been great. It's nothing to do with what she did wrong. But you had someone with real momentum and you had to go with it. Like we talked about this last week, right? Like I said, I think Jamie has to win. I think it would have been bad for Tony if she won the match. And I think that started to play out when they were booing her.
They would have booed the shit out of her, bro. Right? So,
and this is saying, like, I think it's important for people like you and I, Monty, who criticize them for not capitalizing. It would be very hypocritical for us to then come on here and be like, but what about Tony? It's like, that's how it works, man. Like someone is always on the short end of whatever decision you make. That's like, but you'll come back around because Tony's good at what she does and she's been great for them. I want them to find more of like something more substantial with her as a personality. I want them to really tap into who she is. I think they need to do a better job of that, Tony. That's not a criticism necessarily, saying that I think stylistically, product-wise, they struggle with sometimes. But Jamie, like that match was a great example of saying I think we all need to remember sometimes. It's like people see this phrase like overbooked. This match was overbooked.
People love that. People say
they
all
love
the
it.
time now, bro.
And it's like if you laid that match out to me and explained it to me in theory, I'd be like, bro, that is a lot you're doing there. Is that necessary? But watching it, whoever produced that match, and credit to the women mostly for their execution, nailed it. Because all of those interferences worked a treat because the people came up louder every single time, right? Like every time Tony kicked out, they assumed that was it. And they would get mad and then they would come up again. And it was incredible drama, great fear. So it was a good example of like something isn't bad because like one day the wrestling playbook decided it's how it's done. You execute at that level, pick the right match. It was electric. So yeah, the right decision. Tony will be fine. She's awesome. But definitely you had to go with the momentum. Now to the question, my bad, because I always forget what the actual question is, and it was a super chat. I don't think it's the reason why they won, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like, that doesn't hurt, right? Like Jamie Hatt is a really cool person to have at the front of your brand if you're going to the UK. So it's like it helps, but it's not the main point of it.
Jamie Hatt versus Soraya in the UK, you know. You can do it, bro.
I feel sorry for her, but
Hey guys, who's Nick Aldis wrestling in the UK for AEW?
Joe McGuinness.
Red hot, brother. London Derby.
No, I want to say something about Tony. I want to say something about Tony, man. If anybody follows me on Twitter, I mean, like, I'm like a big Tony stan. I think she's freaking incredible. And I'm talking about Tony Storm.
When you said on Twitter, I was like, oh, carry on. I see a lot of things on Twitter, bro. Carry on.
That's here nor there. Tony, I don't know how I'm going to do it, Tony, but I'm going to make a petition and I'm going to reinstate you or in the record books as the official real world champ because your reign was awesome. I would say I would argue maybe the best AEW run besides Sheeta. I mean, the only difference between Sheeta is that she wrestled more. So her hit rate was higher and lower compared if you want with Tony.
Also a pandemic run as well. So it's like she had a great run despite the pandemic, which I feel like kind of leans in her favor in retrospect, you know. Because everyone remembers that reign as a great reign, and it was literally in front of fucking Daily's place with like 10 people there, like, you know. So
and then and then you could just say like hers might have been better too because she was on TV more. And she helped establish this whole new division of where people see. And she helped set the standard of what women's world title matches should be. So I don't know who Grotto is.
You don't know, great.
One of Britain's
Local
greats,
legend, brother.
I thought they
Yeah,
just
man.
misspelled Gato or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to
Look,
hear any of this. I don't want to hear any of this BS with Jamie Hayter's interim. She's the world champ. You can. Nobody cares about
Oh,
Thunder
she's
Rosa. They
not.
can just.
That's the problem. Like, let's talk about like that is the problem. Like I've said it on like 3 different podcasts now. Like Tony
Look,
even said in the
if Thunder,
scrum.
if
Go on.
Thunder Rosa was hiding from Jamie Hayter in the restroom when they weren't even wrestling. Imagine what she's gonna do now that she's world champ. She's never coming back. She's never. So I don't
seemed
want to hear.
far-fetched at the time anyway. So I don't know, man. But what I was gonna say is, Tony. I think Tony said
Oh,
as
that's
much in the
fun.
media scrum. What?
Put that comment up right there from Henry.
No, it's spiteful. Which one? They're both spiteful. I'm not doing it. You know.
Thunder Miedo. That's what we're gonna say. Like, you know how Penta has 0 fear. I'm just gonna say Thunder Miedo. She thinks she has fear. So there you go.
As that will definitely go.
Yeah.
Some of your finest work there, Manny. Very good.
The thing with the Thunder Rosa thing's just like.
Jeez. You got to try and get that over now, bro. You have to. That's amazing.
It's not happening.
Of course not, but it's
man.
incredible.
It sounds like a great chant. Imagine being in the arena and you just hear that. Thunder Miedo. Thunder Miedo.
Great job, dude.
Toxic wrestling fans. Anyway, the thing with the world title for the women, it's like Tony Khan has fucking like he said in the media scrum, I believe, that like when he has a timeline for Thunder Rosa to come back and he'll make a decision on what to do. And it's like, bro, it's already been months. Thunder Rosa's literally been on YouTube saying she hopes it's January, but she's not 100% sure. And January's a hopeful, so it might even be longer than January, bro. Like, come on, man. Put your foot down, son.
They're just going to change the lineage, won't they?
They need to
Eventually,
do
they're
something,
just going to
man.
move on and they're going to change the lineage.
They need to get to it, man. Because like Manny said, it's like, you know, it's kind of like, well, like we've all said throughout, it's like Tony Storm, like her, Brian being regarded as interim champ. It's kind of it's a bit of a slap in the face, to be honest. But it's like I'm not like, you know, Manny's got his Thunder Rosa agenda. I'm a big Thunder Rosa fan. I like her, and it's like even I'm like stripper. She should have been stripped ages ago. Like if you don't know when she's coming back, like unless it's like a you know, like a I don't know, like even like say if it was like like Kevin Owens' injury, like what is it, like a sprained MCL or something that you can kind of like, you know, he's not going to need surgery and be out for months and months and months. You know, he'll be back in a matter of weeks. If it was one of those where you knew it was going to be a matter of weeks, and yeah, I get it. Or even with the CM Punk thing, like you knew the timeline pretty quickly, and you knew it was only going to be like 6 to 8 weeks. So you know, you can kind of grit your teeth and get through it. This is just getting ridiculous now. You know, you've got your own talent on the timeline calling Jamie the real world champion shit, and it's like it's not a good look, man. Like it does not like. Then someone pointed out or done a graphic, and it was like the longest reigning AEW Women's Champions, and it was like obviously it was Sheila, Britt Baker, but obviously Thunder Rosa's was like still counting, and people were like quote tweeting it, getting mad about it because it's like, you know. It's like Thunder Rosa just getting kind of like unnecessary heat for how long it's dragging out as well. Like she's gonna have some heat anyway because of all the stories and stuff that have come out. And it's like this getting dragged on. Like I don't know, man. It's just not good.
I'm gonna throw something out there.
Hold on.
Warrior Wrestling. Look that up, everybody that doesn't know. Look it up. Warrior Wrestling.
Eddie Kingston versus Warhorse.
Nope. Warriors Wrestling Women's Championship. Look it up.
Athena.
The tape is there.
That was a great moment, though. You're right. The when that went down, the replies all being like, "That's very humble." Was amazing stuff. Shit happens. I don't know.
I'm going to take a quick little promo break because AO is prompting me in the chat. Discord. I believe I've got the Discord link in the description to this video. If not, it will be there shortly after we finish this stream. We've started the Discord. It's good fun, you know. AO takes control. He's the man over there, EVPAO. And yeah, it's a good Discord. We've got a few hundred people in there already, and we've only had it for a few days, so it's going really well. And of course, like and subscribe this video. I keep saying subscribe to the video. like this video, subscribe to the channel, super chats, all that good stuff. And what should we jump into next? Should we finally get to the Ospreay Omega stuff?
Don't know, mate. Sure, showing it. Your channel.
No,
What
it's
do you wanna
our
talk
channel. You know, me
Is
and Manny. Well, the way I looked at it when we
Not what
first
your
came up
paycheck's
with it,
saying, Manny, but
I was
all that.
I messaged Manny and I was like, let's do a podcast. And it was when you was on hiatus as well. So I was like prepared to just be like me and Manny on Mondays, fuck it, you know. But then you was like, I mean, you know.
You didn't
So we had
ask,
the trio.
If it was just me and Monty, the show would have been completely different. It wouldn't have been wrestling talk. It would have just been what was on my mind throughout the day. And so I'm glad there's other people on here to reel me in.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I had to come
And
out.
then we got a wild backup hangman as well, you know. We're doing all right.
People watch it for some
Ayo is
reason.
just, you know.
I know, incredible.
This is what he does to me. That's what I get daily. Yeah, I put up with him because I'm good at talent management. Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, incredible. Eh? Leave that for the talent to decide, Chief. I love that you followed the story in which you admitted that I just invited myself to the show if I'm good at talent management.
No, the way I brought it to Joe is because,
know.
like I said, it was on hiatus. But it's quite funny bringing it up now, like, because it's like I brought it to you because, like I said, you was away for a bit and you was doing what you needed to do. So I was just kind of like, well, we're doing this show, and if you ever want to pop in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be really cool to have you on. You was like, I mean, every week. So all right, well, let's fucking go.
There's a lot of different pieces there. Right? Firstly, Manny is, you know, he's officially the young lion. He's now way more than that. You know, he's got his own gear, he's got his own finishing moves. Manny was like the original late night green young lion. For some reason, my whole shit is part of why Manny does this, which I feel bad every day, Manny. I'm sorry, but you know, I feel a duty there. And Monty, the dipshit who just himself off screen, you know, I have to have some sort of loyalty to him for some reason. But the main thing was when I left WrestlePurists, everyone was so fucking nice. I thought I had to come back. I mean, everyone give a shit. I was like, oh, well, shit. I didn't realize it was like this. I better come back ASAP. So, you know,
I'm like Shooter and Joe's like John Moxley. I just do Joe cosplay.
That was very nice. I don't really go that far, but yeah, it's just, that was a genuine thing. When Manny said that, it was like, I don't know if I should feel like an asshole or be like proud of this because this stuff kind of sucks sometimes. But I appreciate you. Anyway, it's talk about Ospreay and Kenny. Enough about Joe Hall, but you know that's.
Well, yeah, man. Ospreay, like Manny just brought up, Shooter had a match with Shooter for the IWGP US title on the Stardom New Japan show. I was literally just watching it before we went live. Really good match, really solid match, as you would expect from Ospreay in a big spot. It's all he's done all year. Obviously, on the Shooter side of things, it was really like it feels like if you're like me and you don't watch New Japan or follow Shooter on like a weekly basis, then at this moment in time, especially in 2022, when you've been able to watch him have the big matches on the cards that you'd probably catch up on, he gets better every time. Literally, he's in like that, you know, momentum phase of his career at the moment, where literally like every couple of months it feels like he's getting bigger and better every time. So. Really good performance from him, and like I said, Ospreay genuinely my wrestler of the year in terms of in-ring, like by quite some distance, to be honest.
You're bullish on this, aren't you? I
think he's like completely blows everyone else out of the water.
Yeah,
like if you've actually watched it all, like it's ridiculous. Like it's actually ridiculous. Like he had 5-star matches with Michael Oku and Ricky Knight Jr. They weren't 5-star in my book personally. Right. But like to get that out of us, like I'm not shitting on him or anything, but like it's ridiculous. Like and that's the level he's at. It's like this Shooter match will probably get like 4.5 stars. It's like Shooter doesn't have matches like that with anyone else. Like he's a freak.
I don't think this disqualifies us, but I'm just genuinely interested in your take, like both of you. Is Wrestler of the Year just in ring to you, or is there more? To it? It is. Monty, what do you think, Sam?
It depends what the other factors are, but in ring's obviously probably going to be the biggest. You know what I mean? If you deliver in the big spots, and that's just kind of how it always usually plays out. Right. It's like the thing. Yes, last year though, for 2021, my best in ring was Shingo. I'd say. I thought Shingo was incredible last year. Like almost like Ospreay this year. Like it just got ridiculous at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
But my wrestler of the year was Kenny Omega because of just world titles in different promotions, defending defending all over the world, like being a real world champion, like we haven't seen in like fucking 60 years. You know?
Like, that, whether as crazy it is, and it's kind of dumb that I'm like saying this in a minute, but there is something. There's a gravity added to his year when you realize how much he fought through physically to produce that year.
Yeah,
this idea that he left it all, he had to do
left
that
it all in there. Yeah,
I mean, the idea was he's going to drop it all out, right? And then Hangman obviously couldn't do all that, so they pushed it back. And it's like some of the matches he has the Arthur Ashe match after all out. Like the dude was feeling it for a while, and he kept going at a high level. That's part of it, I think. So it's hard. There's a lot of different factors with this, I think.
It's even more noticeable too when you look back at Kenny, from what he looked like 2 days ago, to what he looked like during his title run.
Yeah,
because like when he
looks great, man.
On Saturday, it looked like he just stepped out of 2018 Dominion.
It really did. Yeah,
and I was just like, "Holy shit!" But this is the Kenny Omega I like right here, the guy that. And
he looked, even in his face, he just looked refreshed, didn't he?
He looked healthier. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I asked,
his hair had the poof.
I think everyone would agree that, like, if you take a solid wrestler and put them with Jon Moxley and put them with Ospreay, and say have the best match you can have for these guys, Ospreay will have the better match almost every time.
Yeah.
Right? We all agree on that, and he's proven that time and time again. He's spectacular. But there are elements to Moxley's year that I think I understand why people are going to vote for him, why I might even vote for him. Because from a importance perspective for his home promotion, I don't think you can understate what Moxley has meant to AEW. Now, that has portrayed itself in many ways. And on Saturday, they were trying to fuck you, Mox, and it was playful. I don't hate the guy, but, they wanted...
Yeah, he got cheered after the cameras went off and shit anyway, so...
But, like, that's why I think Wrestler of the Year is interesting, because it's different to everyone. And I do think you can't understate what he has been as, like, a symbol to AEW. He's been the one constant. Look at AEW. Every top guy has missed time this year for some reason or another. Now, obviously, Mox got started at the end of January, which is like, but, whatever.
Yeah,
it's the whole year, basically.
Yeah.
But everyone else, for some reason or another, has missed time. And, a lot of time through no fault of their own injuries and stuff is what happens. He's been like the guy at the wheel keeping things steady for them, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely a factor, 100%. And just like, my thing is, I do look at it as like a broad overall thing, but it's like Kenny being a genuine real world champion and traveling the world, like that is that's a much more bigger factor to me personally than like Jon Moxley being like Mr. AEW for the year. You know what I mean? And also it's like Osprey's, even though it's not just in ring, like Osprey's 2022 match catalog, he's genuinely like he's just like, you'll look back on it and be like, what the fuck? You know how you always say, like, if you actually like, he's not Daniel Bryan, but like, if you go back and look at Bryan Danielson's like match catalog in like 10-20 years, you'll be like, this isn't right. Like, what the fuck? This isn't a, like, that's how I look at Osprey's 2022. Like, it's it's ridiculous. Like, so he's so far ahead in that, like, in that department that it kind of,
let's be fair, he has his own stories within that too, right? I mean,
he's been all over the world.
Yeah, and like what he did in Britain, while I completely understand most people don't care, that was a pretty big job he did here in terms of like putting Ricky Knight Jr. over and making him was like
even beating Oku as well. Like,
yeah, he elevated him huge.
Put him on the map.
Yeah.
Then look what he did here in the U.S. Look what he did in the U.S. Indies too for a bit when he was here. Look what he did to Nick Wayne. People think Nick Wayne versus Ospreay is one of the best indie matches of the year, and and I mean stuff like that is just cool.
If you was to kind of brand his year, his thing has been that he has been everywhere, like at all times. Right? Like the week after he was in the G1 final, he had like the match with Ricky Knight Jr. He had the Dynamite matches. So I say that to say,
man.
Yeah, he's a very fair pick.
He's like he came over to Dynamite, and it's like a lot of people like, obviously, like the New Japan audience, which is a lot, like, it is a fairly big percentage of the AEW audience, and they're well aware of Ospreay is. But if you compare to the reactions he was getting when he first ever walked out on AEW compared to like the last time, because he genuinely got himself over because he's a fucking unbelievable wrestler. So
And
He's an animal.
The other thing that works for him in like a Wrestler of the Year conversation is the show of the year very well could be Forbidden Door, right? And we could all it's very close. He had the best match on that show, I thought. I know you didn't agree on it. You had, I think Mox Tanner was. So I remember you had a different pick. But I thought we had the best match on Forbidden Door. And I think the world of Orange Cassidy, I love him much more than the other two gentlemen on the screen. But that's still kind of crazy that he had that match for Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door on that show where everything was 4 stars. I don't think you can argue with Orange. I think they're different candidates. They're both good. There are obviously some others I see brought up. I see Jericho brought up a lot, and I think he's a good example of it's more narrative than anything else. Not because
match you get me out.
Here's the thing: I wouldn't vote for Chris Jericho, and I don't think his match catalog is deep enough. But if you're looking at terms of what the year meant for his career, it has been huge for Jericho. Bro, you got to remember where he was at in 2021.
Good for him.
No, you don't know. You're not. Seriously, okay. Here's the deal. He closed 2021. Before he set up the Eddie feud, brother. They were feuding with ATT, and he was trading punches.
100% get that point where the angle you're is but for him personally. But I'm just saying,
I'm with you.
I don't even think he's worth the debate. You know what I mean? He's not even worth.
Who would you say is? Give me a short list.
I think it genuinely. I think it genuinely is Moxley or Ospreay or
You see, he's going to try.
Maybe
Fury. I knew it.
Some people will go for her because she's had an incredible fucking she's had an incredible red belt reign. So it's I think those will be the 3 big ones that are really worth diving into and going over there. Going over there. Yeah, there's obviously other fun ones as well that you could probably throw in, but it's I think they're the 3 legitimate nominees.
I'm going to tell you right now, Monty hasn't watched any series matches. He's just throwing her name in there, so he sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
No, bro, it's not even that. It's not even. I know from.
I'm just messing.
What I mean, I just know from Anna Parker. I've probably watched 3 of her matches, but every one, I know she's a world class in ring. She's definitely capable. So.
When you're thinking of a third name, I say I know he's going to go with the Joshi name. I know it. Because that's what I would have done.
Nanny, who would you suggest this? I know that we're doing a year-end show on the 21st November, whatever this is, but I don't know. It's interesting, Manny.
Someone said Rollins. I think I guess I wouldn't vote for him. Joe definitely wouldn't vote for him. But as in
True.
People will bring up people will bring up Edge. People will bring up Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? They'll bring up those feuds and it's
Edge. What do you mean Edge?
Rollins Edge.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Last year.
Yeah.
So how long's what was he doing at the start of the year? What was Rollins doing at the start of the year?
They may have feuded this year. I may have made that up. I don't know.
Someone in the chat's got on it. What was Rollins doing at the start of 2022 before Cody came in?
See, now Monty just eliminated his case for Seth Rollins right there.
Yeah, he's done. He's finished.
The Cody matches were great though.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
not all set, obviously.
That's all you could say. You could probably throw it in a conversation for feud of the year. He wouldn't win, but I guess you could throw it in there or something. Yeah.
He worked Roman at the Rumble. Seth, remember they did the DQ finish?
Oh shit! Yeah, and he done the Shield shit. Yeah. That was a good match.
Kevin Owens.
That was a good match. That was a really good match.
So it wasn't. You just brought up Edge, and I was confused. This year ain't been that long, brother.
Probably as for me,
my 3 or 4 would be Ospreay 1, Moxley 2, Gunther 3, 4 CM Punk.
Gunther's a stretch, bro.
Why did you decide to just make up name? You're not voting for CM Punk, man, or Gunther. You're definitely not voting for him. How many Gunther matches you watched this year? 2, 3?
3, and they were all really great.
Gunther's had a great end to the year. The first half,
those 3 matches
he was on NXT 2.0 and shit, bro.
He had that weird match with Eli Drake where it was it was bizarre. Do you remember that? Everyone was concerned that he was finished. He got himself in shape. And oh, fuck, it's over. Scary times. But yeah, so. But I will say, Punk had a great. Punk's first block of the year was good, but obviously he was like 2 matches after May.
This
So
will
I
get
think
the
he's
chat,
eliminated, unfortunately.
I
Maybe,
was
yeah.
saying this on Thursday, or might have even been on the post show, but like FTR were like 100% winning tag team of the year, and it's
All
like,
right. Now, I know I'm going to get killed for this. I'm not saying he should win it. Do you not think Dax is worth bringing up for Wrestler of the Year? Seriously. Because I spoke to Manny about this before, and Manny was like, do you count the tag matches? And it's like, yeah, I
of
would.
course. Yeah, of course. But it's like,
But if you
he
count
hasn't
them,
done
then that's
enough
like,
single stuff to branch out of like
I don't think you should win
out
it.
of the tag team of the year conversation into the wrestler of the year conversation. Like,
Okay.
I think it's cool to bring up momentarily, but like just to kind of pop yourself. But other than that, you can't really make a case against the
But if
others.
here's what I guess my thing. If I think his 3 best matches of the year are like 3 of the top 10 matches of the whole wrestling year, even if they're tag matches, that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%.
Because he's so great in those matches, you know? Like, it's not like Dax is just in these FTR matches. Like,
yeah, of course. No, he's bro, isn't it? I love him.
no, I know. I just think it's interesting.
I defend him for my life on these podcasts.
So, man, I really love Dax and all that. But it's kind of getting. I can understand why people don't like him because like the last couple of days on Twitter, even me, where I don't let Twitter get to me and all that. But then I see his tweets and I'm just like, bro, come on, bro, you just can't get your foot like. It just like, come on, bro. Like I remember like it was Saturday, the day of the pay-per-view, where he's like, I'm gonna how about we live stream the revival the revival versus DIY.
Funny, yeah.
Yeah, I laugh at the same time, like, come on, bro. Like, what are you even doing this to yourself, bro? Like it's AEW pay-per-view weekend and you're over here wanting to freaking rewatch a WWE match you had, you know. It's just like, of course people are gonna get mad at you. Then that hater tweet where he was just like, he made it about himself.
Oh, bro, come on. And let's
I don't even know what this is. I don't want to
know. Let's not go too far.
Can't do Twitter
people were reaching with that Jamie Hayter tweet, bro. Like, he was just fucking playing around and people were like kicking the shit out of him. Someone tweeted something like, Jamie Hayter's like the only person who's organically got over in AEW, and Dax replied to it like, what about us? Like, joking around, like, clearly, and people are like quote tweeting it like, oh, it's not all about you, and it's like, bro, come on. Like, he can't, like, I get that Dax tweets a lot of annoying stuff, especially if you're already kind of squinting at him, you know. So I get how he can rub people up the wrong way, but like at the same time, sometimes people just do way too much with it, man. Like, and that's an example of it, like what I just mentioned. It's like, it's just too much, man. Like, he can't tweet anything, bro. Like, he's done it, he's brought it on himself, but sometimes it's just like, it's not.
It's Twitter.
It's his Twitter. That's what I mean. It's Twitter, bro. Like,
I think he's had some great singles matches. Was the point? Like, I think while his Osprey match is not a top 10 Osprey match, it was a fucking awesome match. You know, him and Claudio, I thought was like way under the radar for Rampage. Him and Punk was great. We had some really good singles matches. The Twitter stuff is like, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. There's like 4 wrestlers I would deem good at Twitter. He's probably bad
for all the shit, for all
I'm bad at Twitter. I don't know, man.
Chris is in the live chat and he does the whole like Dax bit, you know, and it's like, considering how much like it's like a thing with him, like on Twitter, it seems like, from what I've heard, he takes it pretty well, you know. But at the same time, he's aware it's going on and he's conscious of it, you know. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's weird. But as for like I said, rest of the year, I think FTR are just like straight up automatically tag team of the year, you know. Then, but as for Dax, like, I completely like the tag team rest of the year also has had some great singles matches as well. So let's talk about it for the rest of the year. Like, I completely get the angle you're coming at, but I just think it's a bit.
I don't think he should win it. I think his case may be deeper than some people give him credit for. And now, after having this conversation, I've realized why that is, and we can move on. Because it's a mess, you know. It's really, like, I totally get it. I understand there are wrestlers I dislike for like the most bullshit reasons. Monty just brought up Seth and was like, Joe wouldn't vote for him, and it's absolutely correct because I've just decided I'm annoyed by his presence. It's wrestling, man. Be a fan.
You like who you like. You don't like who you don't like.
I think
it goes in the game.
I think it's a bad thing if we all get to a point where we have to be like really serious and objective about everyone. You could just absolutely be like, I don't like this guy. Like, don't be personal about it. I could tweet him and shit, or like, fucking send him DMs. But if you just think the guy sucks, then you think he sucks. That's what it is. I said be a fan in there, like I was Bully Ray. That was unfortunate.
Be a fan, not a mark.
Now, a friend of I was going to say the show, but I don't know if you guys follow him. My pal Tape Machines over on Twitter was talking about Josh Alexander. And I don't think Josh Alexander is a rest of the year candidate because Impact runs like one show a month. Have you guys like seen what his matches are getting rated right now? Because I haven't seen the last couple. It appears that he's having like 30-minute matches with Frankie Kazarian. And
bro, they are good matches. When I check up on them on Cage Match, they do very well,
I'm not for some reason Impact has the same thing that NXT UK had, where they just get high ratings, and I don't think people actually watch the matches.
I couldn't say if it was a bit or not. There was like a match with. There was a match. I think it was the Eddie Edwards one. It was like 8.9.
Yeah, that's the one I saw, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
It's like, what?
No, but the thing is, I do actually think Josh Alexander, he is real. Like, I don't think he has like a real case for like the rest of the year, I guess.
Right.
But like at the same time, like he's done what he can, I think like the few times I've like popped into Impact and had a little watch of what he's doing, he's always been impressive. So the Eric Young match had no right to be as like fun as it was. It was like a TNA greatest hits. Like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I remember you like really liked that show. Remember that? You reviewed that for the Green. This was awesome.
Man, if I go on a cage match and I see Josh Alexander and Bully Ray 9.2 or something on cage match, I'm gonna call the feds. I'm gonna call people.
We are going to have a look now because I bet you any money it's got higher than what you'd be.
It hasn't happened yet, Montgomery.
It hasn't happened yet.
So what is the Frankie Kazarian match? The one that just happened? Who did? Yeah. Bully Ray wrestled Moose. That's the one. Yeah,
they're wrestling on pay-per-view. Bully Ray. That's why I brought it up. That was my transition out of me telling people to be a fan.
What day was the Impact show?
Remember? Friday.
It's Friday. Why did they do that, bro?
That's their new thing. It's insane. I don't understand.
It's insane. Bully Ray versus Okay,
good.
Bully Ray versus Moose. Over under 5.
Under.
You're grinning too wide. It's got like a 4 or 3.
4.74. 10 minutes. Tables match.
Oh, come on.
I'm also never gonna like Bully because of what he did now. Because every time stupid wrestling fans see a table, they're like, table. I'm like, shut the fuck up about that fucking table, bro. Right. I don't want to hear it.
All right, we're gonna do these last few matches. Trey Miguel versus Black Taurus. Over under 6.
Over.
Under.
7.7.
Yeah, all of his matches get rated. Well, he's like Josh. I don't hear anything about these matches.
Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich. Over under 7.
Over.
That's up.
Oh, Monty looks unsure about this.
7.97.
I think you're about to make up a score the way you're looking at it.
Okay. I'll try with poker face and not change the face. Match guide. Okay. Josh Alexander defeats Frankie Kazarian in 32 minutes 51 seconds. Over under 8.
That's disgusting. That's just nasty, man. I don't know. That's over. But I'm like, bro, who's paying to go see a 30-plus minute Frankie Kazarian?
He's nuts. This is what I'm talking about. This is insane.
If people talk about AEW's having long main events, I don't think AEW's main events longer than like 22 minutes. Like, bro, come on.
Based on 38 votes.
Okay.
This received a 9.18.
There's a lot of crack going on around here.
This is a different show for a different day because we need to move on before we kill our viewership. But I think if you look at Impact's match guide, Josh will appear like regularly in the top 20, like an insane amount. So,
all right. I'll read one of these reviews. This is one of the best Kazarian matches in singles history, if not the best. Drama, great spots, huge psychology and storytelling. Just watch it. At that age, wrestling for 30 minutes is something.
I mean, fair.
Real.
So
real
they're just
Frankie's
giving
getting
it
up there, man. That's fair.
So
I ain't seen it, so I can't really dunk on it, you know?
they're just congratulating for being old and having a long match. That's good.
Manny, I want to remind you of your rating for the Ric Flair match. I want you to calm down. All right, I want you to just take it easy, brother. Might have been good. None of us watched it. I can't dunk on it. I'm just saying, Josh looks like he's had a really good year. I just wish more of us had watched it. But anyway, good luck to him. Friday Night Wrestling.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
You know what? I'm gonna go watch that match. Oh no, I don't want to say that.
You're both lying. Both just lying on the air. Look at you.
I'm gonna watch it, man.
You're not gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
You're not gonna watch it. It's ridiculous. Making up lies on WrestlePurists worldwide. Come on now.
I'm gonna write a review in cage, man.
Anyway,
keep an eye.
And Impact. Joe, did you see the Impact thing with Yuya?
You signed him, right?
Yeah, they gave him some pizza and he decided to stay. I wish it was that easy. Like
it's probably worth circling back and saying I'm excited to see Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, which I believe was the topic we were supposed to talk about for the last half an hour. And I went off. I brought up Wrestler of the Year, and we did a year-end show for some reason in November. But I'm excited for it. Man, are you excited for Ospreay versus Omega?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the greatest match ever to happen in pro wrestling.
What is the floor on this match, legitimately?
7 stars.
The floor is legit, like for Dave specifically, the floor is like 4 3/4.
I need somebody to have a camera on him the whole match. Because I need to know what kind of visuals he's doing.
Yeah.
I can just picture him doing something like the most insane noises or faces
Someone
possible.
Clip that, please. Someone clip that. Dave, again, I'm not saying he's lying. He's gonna love this match.
I can picture him just sitting on the couch of Brian Alvarez, and Kenny goes up onto the top rope, and he's just grabbing Brian he's looking up.
It's gonna be we need those Dave Love reactions, man. It's Ibu's brought up those in the past where it's the Flair Steamboat match where you can see the Meltzer sitting front row and you can just see him popping and shoot. Watching that now in 2022 is just fucking. He just rules. Yeah, man. What else should we talk about?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about that match? Because I kind of just went off on the rest of you. You didn't really get a chance to talk about much.
What, Ospreay versus Shooter?
No, Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. They've announced it, mommy.
Oh yeah,
it's happening at the Wrestle Kingdom. At the Tokyo Dome.
Good bit of business.
That shows.
I still need Brian in the dome though. That's what I need.
The card for that show is probably going to look really insane. Right? It's probably going to be very odd.
Yeah, but
it's funny because it's funny if you're looking at Okada versus Jay White, who cares about that match? That match has already happened 6 times.
Yeah, right.
And compared to Ospreay and Omega, just it's a fresh matchup. It's a huge matchup. These are the 2 biggest wrestling names around. I'm I would obviously they're not going to do it because the last time they did, I think Phoenix got hurt when the Intercontinental title went up. So. And I think the Bucks might be on that card too.
Really?
So I don't know how they're gonna do it because FTR is wrestling the winners of the World Tag League.
Yeah.
So I don't know
if Young Bucks want to go, bro, they'll go. Tony's just gonna let them do what they want. To be honest.
Well, the Bucks aren't even scheduled to be at AEW Seattle show, and obviously I think they're gonna go. I think obviously they're gonna be there with Kenny. So if they're gonna be there, why not have them wrestle?
They could team with they could team with the Bullet Club guys, I guess, right? Some of them, because they could
do some.
They could do what they did at Forbidden Door, right? Them and Phantasma or something like that.
Did you see the promo thing though when Omega called him a pandemic champion and knock off Kenny? The crowd just started clapping really loudly, and I'm just what a pop, bro! They love Will Ospreay, but then once Kenny came up, everybody just gasped. It was just awesome.
That's gonna be an incredible deal, man. That show, I assume FTR. They seem to be setting up Aussie Open, right? They got a promo. Did you guys see that? Aussie Open crashed their press conference thing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I was listening to another podcast, and they were just saying don't be shocked if FTR retain the titles because everybody was saying that they're gonna lose them at Wrestle Kingdom, and they're just saying, well, don't be shocked if they lose them if they don't lose them because they're saying now Gato's a huge fan of them, and he wants to keep him around as long as possible.
Yeah, wasn't he
So-
like a? Because I know Ghetto watched a lot of US wrestling. Wasn't the story he was like a Bobby Eaton stan? He like loved Midnight Express, I think.
Yeah,
So
he was
that
like a
would-
Mid South man.
Yeah, that
No
would-
wonder
that would-
him. No wonder him and Tony Khan get along. They just talk about Mid South for hours, and then they're
Yeah.
oh man, we forgot to book Forbidden Door.
Mhm. Did you guys like that match? The FTR, Greg O'Khan, Jeff Cobb deal? Because I was in the States. Yeah, it's really good, right?
That match was awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Especially, man, I don't know what it is, but FTR is able to adapt to every like environment they're in besides Mexico,
Mhm.
which is funny. So it's just like,
That was definitely
way
a
they-
weird vibe them in Mexico.
yeah, and they're going back in like I think a couple weeks. So it's just like, man, the way the crowd was excited for Dax when he came in, then they got super hot for Cash's hot tag, and they got excited for the cutoff they did for the tour because they thought Cash was about to be killed by the tour of the islands until Dax hit him with the knee.
Cash's hot tag in that match was like he
Legendary.
just
He
jumps in there and he starts throwing punches and he's doing this and he's doing that, and next thing you know, he finally hits Cobb with the suplex and fucking place comes up for it. It's just
The Open rematch is kind of like, I get why you'd want to do it, but it's also kind of
you
nuts.
okay,
to think
man?
about.
No, that comment.
It's kind of nuts to think about because it's the complete opposite to what they had in London. Where like that London crowd was,
What's this crazy comment?
FTR can't handle spice. Like just
so
Okay.
so in London, obviously that crowd was familiar with Aussie Open, and there was this like sort of raucous atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be really different at the Tokyo Dome, right? Like because a lot of the guys talk about how because the Tokyo Dome is the biggest crowd of the year, it's a slightly different vibe in that sense. Like big undercard matches will sometimes throw up really hard for heat.
Yeah,
So they won't have seen FTR a lot, and they won't have seen, Aussie Open was just done tag league, so that would be interesting. Very different scene. I'm sure the match will still be great, but it might not have 35
I
minutes.
still think AEW need to like have their own Wrestle Kingdom, WrestleMania, man. Like, I don't know.
Revolution,
They're
not
just
kind
not,
of for you.
no, but even like it's not like people do try to do it all the time. Like, it's Revolution actually, or it's All Out actually, or it's
Yeah,
Double or
I think-
Nothing actually, and it's like, bro, like there isn't one. Like they put on four great pay-per-views every year. Obviously this year it's been 5 with Forbidden Door. You know, they put on great shows quarterly. Like they don't have a big one. I'd like them to have a big one, you know, where they like try and go all out for something. All
I
out.
get
But I don't
It's
know,
actually
man.
the
I just
opposite, where rather than having a big one, Full Gear is just the small one because they don't do like fan fest or anything. The other three will have like they have like the what do you call it? The AEW fan fest.
FanFest, yeah.
Fan fest, yeah. They have that for the other three, right? But not Full Gear.
bro, let me tell you something, man. I tweeted that out on Saturday morning, and people were calling me crazy. Like, who cares about FanFest? Who cares about all the promos and podcasts they usually do? Like, all they care about is the wrestling. I said, what? I said, bro, this pay-per-view feels like this pay-per-view like, vibe that whole week felt like just like the push of the pay-per-view. It just felt like something to get passed by. And it kind of annoyed me when people were saying that. I'm like, bro, I mean, this pay-per-view doesn't feel as important. But by the end of it, it was a different story. But
I think AEW's outlook on it is we're asking for a high price. We're a new brand still. You can't afford to be like, this one is clearly bigger than that one. Like they want to kind of even Full Gear. They've done some big things at Full Gear, man. They've done 2 years straight of world title changes. Like it's had FTR and the Bucks first match. Like they've done some big stuff at Full Gear. So I think this is a result of them just always trying to pump these shows full with stuff that's worth your time. I get you, Monty. I don't think it's that big a deal for now, personally. But
no, it's not a big deal. It's not going to kill the territory.
You would just like for them to have like a
I just like them to like just fucking go balls to the wall, like just fucking all cards on the table. Similar to WrestleMania or Wrestle Kingdom, you book your biggest matches possible for the year. You book the biggest stadium of the year that you can, and then you just fucking go for it.
But what does that mean for them right now, though? What's like the biggest? Like, would you not argue?
I'd aim for 20-25K.
It's a lot right now.
Yeah, but bro, this is what I mean. You gotta go balls to the wall. Like,
What match are you doing? Like,
I don't know. Punk versus Kenny Omega.
assuming that Punk isn't around. Because
I
that's
don't
cheap.
know. Fuck knows.
That's the thing, right? Like, I get what you're saying, but
Sasha Banks versus.
I think they've been trying pretty hard to go through, man. These pay-per-view cards are kind of not like, I don't think Full Gear was loaded on paper necessarily, but like they certainly don't leave you wondering like, oh, we could have more on the show. They go for it, man. I mean, a lot of matches on these shows. I don't know. I don't really know if they have that at their fingertips, basically. But
Yeah, it's
we'll
tough.
see.
Not now. Once upon a time, you know. Once upon a time.
Wait. Speaking of Kenny, do you have my graphic or no, Monty?
Oh,
fuck!
Did you spoil it though? Who wins it? That's unfortunate.
Yeah. No. You know what? I'm gonna go into a whole rant about
No, I think
this.
I think I've got it anyway, so you can get your.
So let me. Okay, guys. I don't know if this is my best one yet, but I think it is my best one.
What one do you want? Do you want red or white?
We'll go with the red one.
We'll go with the red one. Okay. Give me like 30 seconds. Do your introduction.
Well, so I don't know, man. I do these kind of stuff when I get out of work because I always forget to do it, and I want people to know like the wrestler of the week. The wrestler is an important part of the graphic. What's important to the graphic is the background, because to me, I think that's where the real art is created. That to me is my muse. This is a mind frame. Like people look into my mind when they see a background, you know, and then the rest of the wrestlers are just added in front of what goes on in my mind. And I was again, I was in a cold parking lot waiting for my food, and I thought about what I was gonna make. And after I created, I cut out the images and I had it set. So I went to the drive-through, and I finished making it. So then I come home, and I decide I want to be left alone. So I go in my cold garage. I put my phone against the box on the table that's in the garage, and I'm just staring at this image. And I say, "Fuck, man, this must how Picasso, Basquiat, Cause, all these artists feel when they create a masterpiece." And I say, "Man, what the fuck, man? I'm fucking great at this shit, man." And then nobody's doing it like me. That's just. In the mornings I wake up, what am I gonna hate on? What's gonna piss me off? And then at night I'm just like, fuck, man, nobody's touching me on this shit, man. So now play the graphic.
And the who for the week is
Kenny Omega.
I love how you always get like the Hooper Jesus slid in there. Somewhere.
There's so much there.
There is. There's layers to it, bro. I love the reactions.
Yeah.
We don't
You're
know.
nice,
To be
brother.
honest,
You're
Bran.
nice.
I don't know what to tell you, Bran. Yeah.
I wish I could tell you too, but sometimes my mind just goes off and just creates stuff.
What's with the Larry inclusion?
The what?
The Larry inclusion.
Oh, I thought it just popped me.
Fair.
Because at first I was gonna put Michael Nakazawa, and I said that's not funny. So then I went and put Larry, and I said, "Oh fuck, man!" I gave myself a half five. I said, "Man, you fucking did it again." And I sent this to Monty like at 2:00 in the morning.
I don't even think he's lying. I think it genuinely was at like 2 a.m. So like whatever time that is for us. He sent me these 7:17 a.m. UK time.
I'll tell you, I was literally in my cold garage, just sitting there looking at this picture and saying, I had my hand on my chin, and I was just like, man, it's not because I was not doing it for me. I said, what can I do? And my soup is getting cold, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna put Larry the dog on it. And then after I was scrolling through Google Images, and I finally found one. I said, this is it right here. This is the one. I cut it up. I put it on his face. And, you know, look, most people watch YouTube videos while they eat. No, I'm over here painting Picasso arts. You know, this is like, I can't think of something on top of my head. I can't think of a penny name. But, you know, this is it right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I have nothing to add really. I just I continue to be amazed by the art on display, bro.
My favorite one's still the one where I can't remember who it was now. I just remember
Yeah,
blue.
like the
I just
wrestlers got
remember blue
imported.
eyes. I just remember the blue eyes white dress.
It was
I might
Osprey.
still have it. Do I still have it? No, I don't still
think
have it. Which ones do I have? I think because I delete some of them to like make room on the thing, so it's not just a bunch of pictures. I've got
One
this
stream
one.
yard. Fucking Morishima, man. Oh, that's. I think that's still the best because the Morishima thing is just glorious. Like, come on, man, so ridiculous. I mean, it's all ridiculous, but Morishima is like, what an incredible play.
And the funny thing about this is people think like I'm stoned when I make these and do that. No, guys, I'm sober. You know, this is like sober. Manny that used to do drugs couldn't do this kind of art that I'm doing now. You know, this is just.
You're a good guy, you know.
The best, incredible.
Yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to get off the chest before we get out of here?
Samoa Joe on the TNT title.
It was a great moment.
Put the belts over his shoulder. The TNT title like a toy belt over his shoulder. He's going to unify the belts and call it the AEW television title on Wednesday. We're going to cheer. Mm-hmm. And then Nigel McGuinness is going to interrupt him and challenge him to a match for the AEW television title at Final Battle. They're going to go 8 minutes. Dave will give it 2.5. Manny will log in at 4.5. I'll support him in this endeavor.
They're going to do a muscle buster to the floor again, and I'm just going to lose it.
I don't know about that, but I respect it. I like the idea.
You need to make someone just said, what is it, Fredro? Those would make a crazy graphic tee line. We need to do that. We need to do the Hooper line when we drop the WrestlePurists merch. It just needs to be like
Jamie brings it up.
Sure, Spurs $2. Appreciate it. Manny's great of a Van Gogh. Factual.
Jamie brings it up. I'm excited for the draft tomorrow. You know what, Monty? You know I draft content.
Yeah, you're a sucker for a draft.
So I can watch.
Yeah, so tomorrow night. Yeah, man. Tomorrow night, Tuesdays, we do Dungo's live. If you haven't watched that before, it's more like it's kind of like a Puro show, more or less. Anyway,
real graps.
It's not just Puro, but like that is what the guys are into, you know. So
they don't do 10 minutes that towards Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're more into like Puro and Joshi wrestling. Big guys on that. You can learn a lot, especially from Parker when you're watching those shows. It's kind of like Anna last night, where she was kind of giving everyone a Joshi lesson.
I watched the segment when she was talking about the different belts, and I was just popping out this roster we've got on WrestlePurists is like
Anna's really good, man.
I watched Monty do this in real time, and I don't quite know how he's managed it, but there's like a lot of awesome people on this channel. It's legitimately cool because like I come in and out of the shows, like I'll go on them and I have to do 400 shows a day at this point, but I was watching that segment. I was like, those fucking rules, man.
Oh, before we go, man, I got to let me dunk on these Puro geeks one more time, man. When
we're promoting a Puro draft, brother. You guys, dumb guys. It's most about Puro, Manny and me because let me kick the shit out of these Puro fans. He fucking buried it. Who are you talking about, Manny? Go ahead.
Okay, so sorry. Not a shout out to Parker and the boys over there and Anna. They do great stuff here, but I'm talking about the other pro geeks that attacked me when. Oh, shout out Ash. Ash is cool too, and Peps. So like when they attacked me over with the Takesha stuff, saying, "Oh, he will want to go to USA. He loved DDT so much," and I said, "No, it's in the tapes. It's in the library. He said America's his dream, and now he's living out his dream, and he's all elite, baby."
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's all I got.
Another one for the good guys. But anyway,
nice guys always finish first.
Yeah, Dungo's live tomorrow, hosted by Parker, hosted by Murph, hosted by Jamie. 3 good guys. Support them tomorrow. Tomorrow's a special edition as well because they're doing a Puro draft. Good bit of content, Wednesday's the day off. Thursday we're back with the flagship show. Friday's on Purist. We're trying to get the Divas to do weekly. Trying to push that through, but they want to do once every 2 weeks, and
Respect.
we're trying to turn them into workhorses, and they're just not, But
Well, the thing is, they want to enjoy talking about wrestling. You see,
they're just busy, bro. They're just busy. It's not even that. Anyway,
Charlie's
like the
almost
video.
on every show.
Charlie
To be
rules.
fair to
we should keep stopping Monty when he goes to end the show. We've done a good job like 4 times.
Anyway, we're gonna get there in the end.
Watch all the shows, guys.
Yeah, watch all the shows. Subscribe to this channel. Like the video. Follow WrestlePurists on Twitter. WrestlePurists.com. Read a feature.
Read my match
blah,
review.
blah, blah. Read Joe's match review. We're gonna promote it tomorrow on the Twitter page. We was having some creative differences on the tweet to put with it.
Don't get me started. I give him the comment. If I give you too little, you have to get more.
Quote ever.
If I give you too little, you then have to find more. I gave you a lot and let you chop it up. I'm not going to chop up my own art, Monty. Come on.
All right, man. Anyway, we appreciate all the viewers, the super chats we got so far, and we'll probably see you next time for Dumb Guys Live tomorrow night. And if you're watching Raw, enjoy it. I've been Montel. Manny's been Manny the artist. Joe's been Joe the Hallbutt. And we're out of here. Peace.